Hey guys, let's talk about how this happened after the intro. So here we are, sadly the last hover of my Mavic Air 2 before it completely killed itself and was not flyable anymore. The IMU was completely messed up and it always thought it is about 10 meters lower than it actually is. The height was not controllable and the respond to any emergency shutdown of engines or emergency landing, automated landing, return to home, nothing worked. So now we have some footage of the first IMU behavior where Mavic started to be uncontrollable in terms of height control. And here's how the IMU is going nuts. No response in that height in terms of altitude control, no engine shutdown response, no landing response, no return to home landing is possible. Now hitting the ground and going right up again, it doesn't stay. So let's take a look at the flight data. I have the whole flight recorded and let me know if you're seeing something I'm missing. So this is the left stick we are focusing on because the altitude was the issue here. I'm flying with inverted controls. So pulling is pulling the aircraft up and pushing is pushing it down. That is how we usually fly aircrafts, not like the default setting of drones. Helicopters and fixed wings, we are flying like that, and I like to keep it that way since I'm a pilot for over 20 years. And it would confuse me to keep it as the default settings. So right now we're seeing I'm pulling up and I'm now pushing down. So that would mean the drone is coming in for landing. And we are seeing here I'm pushing down, but the altitude is rising. We are at 2.4 meters. Now, because it didn't come down, I'm pulling up to see if the inverted programming maybe was not accurate or there was a problem there. And now it's going up. That is fine. So I'm pulling it up. That is correct. So Mavic is still rising and that is fine, but it is not controllable, and that is why I had this early in the flight the idea for trying an emergency shutdown of engines. Yes, that crazy it was, but it wasn't effective. And then I already got a bit concerned how to bring that aircraft down, because the battery was 90% full and there was no way I could get myself out of the situation. The gimbal motor is overloaded because of the sand from the first hit in the very early flight stage, where the IMU was letting the Mavic hit the loose sand at the beach. So now Mavic was shooting over 90 meters, and I try one more time a controlled return to home and hope that Mavic is coming in for landing. And actually she does. She's coming back and is returning, hovering over the home point and descending. So right now we're at 20 meters, and at this point we already can see that the descent rate is really decreasing. So Mavic is slowing dramatically down, how it's coming back. And when we are reaching around 10 meters, Mavic almost stops. It's not coming down anymore. So to bring it down and to try to get it to the ground, I'm pushing it down now and it responds. It's coming down. It's now at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4 meters. But in the actual height right now, it shows minus 0.5, but it is still 10 meters up in the air. And now the IMU is giving Mavic negative values for the altitude, which is leading to let it shoot up again. But here the IMU still keeps telling the Mavic that it's at negative altitudes, even if it's like up now in the air for like 80, almost not visible for me anymore. So at this point the altitude displayed here is more or less random, and I decided for a crash landing to bring it down and to get it over with. I don't really have many options. I have the ocean, but crashing it into that wouldn't be possible since it wouldn't come down to that point ironically. And behind me are rocks, like a rock formation. That wouldn't be good either. So I decided to try to crash it right above that rock formation into trees and bushes. And here's the last circle, aiming for the green right above the rock line, and the impact almost exactly where I want it to be. So the flight is over, vision sensors are blocked from the leaves and the trees. So yeah, now the task is how to get it down from there. So the MIU is giving a 26 meter altitude reading, which is substantially higher than where the Mavic actually is now located. The crashing point is about 18 meters high at most, maybe even lower. So we can see here the camera is pointing down, it's hanging in the trees, and we can see some waves on the top right. So I saw the crash from a bit different angle, so I didn't really know exactly where it was. So this is the rock line at around 12 meters, and above that there's the impact point. and for the precise location to find it, I used the LED, turning it on and off, trying to get the visual signal where it is hiding in the trees. And luckily I found it with that kind of light signature right there where the point is. So I had to come back the next day with some poking tools since I couldn't reach it without any special devices. So next morning, 5:30 a.m., I was back at that beach, and the plan was then climbing up to that point and then using long sticks to get it out of these bushes, hoping that it's falling on the rocks and not right into the water. That stick there is extended over 4 meters long. And there it is, after about 30 minutes of poking and trying and climbing, it fall down and right on the rocks, not in the water. And because of the camo I have on it and the stickers, the scratches are not really in the body itself. Some scratches on the rotor blades, but it looked pretty fine, so no major damage. So then being back home, trying to troubleshoot a little bit what is the damage. I took off the propellers because of the IMU. I couldn't trust that anymore, that it's not accidentally just like flying in my living room destroying things. The gimbal has some sand in it. I could clean that out, so the gimbal was then fine. Running the engines, it seemed like that there was a rattle in the rear left motor. It could have been there before, and in the front right one. The other two are really running smooth, but those two are running a bit differently. I didn't notice before because I was never running it without propellers. But besides that, the whole drone was actually fine. So long story, a very weird flight. Finally I could retrieve it then, and I will return it. My understanding would be that DJI would build in some redundancy that this cannot happen, but on the internet you can find some stories about failing IMUs, and I hope that this will be improved from now, that others can have a better experience than I had today. Thanks for watching and have a great day everyone. See you in the next one. Bye.